Hello viewers, the main objective of this lecture is to see the images of Bhairava in ancient Indian sculpture. The artists of North and South, East and West India conceived the forms of Bhairava, sometimes based on their imagination and usually followed the texts for the various forms of Bhairava. These images can be seen in the temples and on independent walls. The most significant images of Bhairava can be seen in the collection of museums, art galleries and private collections. V.S. Agarwal says that during his wanderings, Shiva became Bhairava, the terrible aspect of Rudra, and roamed over the earth with a begging bowl in hand, crying for food from the goddess Annapurna, which is another name of mother. Goddess Earth, the eternal source of food and sustenance. Without the energy of the great goddess, even the earth does not produce food. So, the artists of ancient times carved Bhairavas with the different types of iconographic traits in the various parts of India. Shiva is the only god whose symbolic worship has continued simultaneously with anthropomorphic form. Sometimes the linga aspect is combined with his human form and the figure is called as Mukhalinga. The sculpture from Matamat Aring as a double-faced Shiva linga belonging to circa 3rd century AD. Mated here, third eye on the forehead and a garland of human skulls, Mundmala or Akshmala, garland of Rudraksha, are some interesting features on one of the faces. It rests on a capital of Gupta. The Bhairava cult became popular in Orissa from the 8th and 9th century in the upper Mahanadi valley. It is interesting to note the numerous images of Bhairava at Junagadh. One Bhairava figure belonging to the 4th century AD at Junagadh is of Batuka Bhairava. He is stark nude, four-handed, carrying a trishula in the lower right hand, the bottom portion of it resting near his right foot. The eyes are round, having uncanny look with side tusks coming out. He has long ears, flat nose. He wears a big garland of skulls. His jatas are forming a mundmala. It is carved on a square pedestal where the two-lined inscription in Pali Prakrit occurs. There are two more Bhairavas of smaller size in the same side called Vain Rogudi, which is located in the Panchayat Samiti office of Junagadh. One image is four-armed and both the lower hands are in hanging position and holds a trishul and a kapala. Another Bhairava is four-armed. He is adorned with ornaments like strips of necklaces, waistband, bracelets, a loin cloth up to knees and makra, kundla. He is holding a khtavanga, a trishula, side tusks are coming out. It is Swarnka Sara Bhairava, whose appearance suggests perfect happiness coupled with masterful authoritativeness. In another place of Junagadh named Banka Park Padda, a Bhairava figure is displayed standing in Samabhanga. He wears a conical mukta. He is Urdhva Linga. He holds a sula and a kapala in his upraised left and right back hands. His front right hand is in Katyavalamta. In his front left hand, which is hanging, is holding a kamandalu. A long snake encircles his entire body. An exactly similar image of huge Bhairava is lying flat on the ground at Belkhandi, also in Kalandi district. He was the main deity and was worshipped along with Sapta Matrikas. The image is fierce looking and has 4 arms. He carries a small trident, a damru, in his upper left and right hands, a skull cup in his lower left hand, while the lower right hand is in Varada Mudra. He stands in Tribhanga, being flanked by 2 devotees. Another interesting image can be seen in Sansugad near Belkhandi. It is a terrific image of Bhairava stands in Samabhanga. His eyes are burning and he is Urdhvalinga. He wears a Patra Kundala and Mukta extra. He has 4 arms with his usual attributes. In the top corners, flying Vidyadharas are depicted with garland in hands. The right side of the slab is carved with dancing figures. In the extreme left is bull and looking at the Lord with raised head. Central portion of the pedestal, 2 smaller front-faced figures of a couple are carved and both are hanging in Anjali Mudra. The dancing Bhairava images in the Sun Temple at Konark, Odisha are notable. Above the lower tier of the Jagmohana, on each face of the Raha, there are 2 life-size representations of the god. The images on the western side have mutilated, but 6 others on the north, south and east have survived. Each image is 4-headed and 6 arms. The terrific aspect of the Lord is represented by the prefunding teeth, the hair arranged in a flame fashion. The Kapala Mala is reaching to the knees. The snake serves as a Jajanopavita. He dances over a boat in the Lalita pose. Most of the arms of these figures are mutilated. In one of image of the eastern Raha, the god holds a skull cup and trident in the right hands and a damru in the left. In another representation from the southern side, he holds a chakra in one of his right hands, while Khatvanga can be seen in the left hand of another images. The Sharada Tilka Tantra supports the identification of these images with Martanda Bhairava. One image of Bhairava from Patangad, Odisha, has been carved in high relief on a piece of fine-grained sandstone. He has 8 arms and is shown dancing on a Pretasana. In his right arm, he carries a sword, a trident, a musla and a dagger. In his left hands, he holds a khataka, fire in a bow, ankusha and a naga respectively. He has jatamukta tied with a string of beads and patra kundala on both ear lobes. 2 flames are rising upwards on both sides of the head. The stumpy nose, fleshy lips, wide open eyes are notable. The multiplication of arms testify to its tamasic rupa, and he is associated with the Pashupata Shaivism, which was popular in this region. Few sculptures of Bhairava from Khajuraho are very meaningful. A sculpture representing Bhairava seated in Lalita Asana posture on a pedestal. It has been exhibited in the Archaeological Museum, Khajuraho. He has 4 arms. The lower right hand holds a club, the upper right hand carries a damru, while the upper left hand holds a ghanta and the lower left hand holds a rope which tied to the neck of a dog. He is pot-bellied and decorated with naga kundalas, rakhu, necklace, har, yajnopavita, kayura, restless, loose ankles and waist girdles. He has round bulging eyes, long big nose, moustaches, opened wide mouth and beard. He is seated in a niche formed by 2 pilasters on either side and reared up sardulla over the elephants. One more sculpture representing Bhairava is on display in the Jaitine Museum, Khajuraho. He is seated in Lalit Asana on a pedestal. He has 4 arms. The lower right carries a kapala and the lower left hand is held in Tarchani Mudra, while the upper left hand carries a noose and the right hand is broken and chipped off. He has half closed eyes and headgear is depicted with a single hooded naga at the center. A sculpture depicting Bhairava is in the reserve collection of the Archaeological Museum, Khajuraho. He has 4 arms. The lower right hand carries a kapala and upper right hand holds the Trishula, while the upper left hand holds a khatavanga and the lower left carries Nilotpala. He is pot-bellied and wears all sorts of ornaments. He is attended by Conchant Nandi shown below on the pedestal and flying Vidyadharas on either side at the top. A sculpture of Bhairava kept in a niche of the pediment on the southern transept of the Maha Mandapa facing south of Vishwanath temple. Here Bhairava is seated in a Lalit Asana on a pedestal. He has 8 arms, carrying Vardhamudra, Trishul, Naga and Damru in the right hand, while Ghanta, Khatavanga, Kapala and water vessel in the left hands. He has terrific appearance with raised curls, bulging eyes and gaping mouth with protruding teeth. He is adorned with all sorts of ornaments. A sculpture of Bhairava kept in a niche facing east of south face roof pediment of Kendriya Mahadeva temple. Here Bhairava is pot-bellied, seated on Nandi. He has 4 arms and carries Vardhamudra, Trishula, Khatavanga and Kapala. His hair is raised to form flame-shaped curls and has protruding eyes and teeth. One more sculpture in a niche facing north in the interior Mahamandapa of Kendriya Mahadeva temple is also notable. Here Bhairava is seated in Lalit Asana on a pedestal and is attended by Nandi. He is bearded, pot-bellied, canine teeth, protruding eyes. He wears Jatamukta, which is studded with a series of skulls and decked with ornaments. He is attended by 1 Gana on either side, the right one carrying Khatavanga and the left one carrying a Trishul. He is flanked by Brahma on the right and Vishnu on the left of the halo. A sculpture of Bhairava kept in niche facing north in the anterior Mahamandapa of Kendriya Mahadev temple. Here, Bhairava stands in Tribhanga pose on a pedestal. He has raised curls studded with a skull with arms, protruding eyes extra. He is attended by a male, one on either side. Attends him, and Nandi is shown on the pedestal. Here, the well-known temple Duladeo is having a dancing Bhairava in the main outer niche facing south. He has 6 arms carrying Trishul, Jhamru, Kapal in 3 hands, and the other hands are broken. He has ferocious look with raised curling hair, mustaches and bulging eyes. He wears a long rundamala, and his lower garment is fastened by a jeweled waist girdle with loops and tassels. It is interesting to note that Assam has numerous figures of Bhairavas. A rock-cut image is seen below the Kamakhya temple at Guwahati. It is quite close to the Bhairava temple. He stands on a prostrate body and wears a garland of skulls. He has 4 arms in which carries Khatvanga, Trishula, Ankusha and Vajra. He is standing in a Tribhanga pose with left leg on the chest of a dead body and the right leg on the ankles of the same body. He wears a short dhoti tied together in the front. The only ornament is Kanchala. The jata is formed into a halo. In the pedestal, a male figure stands on the right with Anjali Mudra. The image is rather a dancing type and locally called Bala Bhairava. It belongs to the 10th, 11th century AD. On the wall of the Kamakhya temple is carved an image of Shiva Bhairava. He is shown standing in Samabhanga on a prostrate body who is living and looking in the same direction as the god. Bhairava has 8 hands. A girdle of human skull is suggesting the terrific aspect of Shiva. He holds Trishula, skull, Vajra and citron extra. His hair raised up and made into a cap. His body is adorned with har, kangan and kayura. The god is in perfect peace. In the southern wall of the Kamakhya temple, Bhairava stands in Dibhanga pose. He is four-armed. He holds a skull, a trishul, a khatvanga and Katihasta pose. He has calm expression and belongs to the 9th and 10th century AD. The image of Bhairava has been found in the temple ruins of Madan Kamdev Parvat, 60 miles away from Guwahati. A figure of a dog stands on the right side. It belongs to the 10th century AD. Narakasura ruins at Khalilpara, an image of Batuka Bhairava is in the private collection. It is made of bronze. The god is four-armed. He holds a sword, a rosary, a shankha and an indistinct object. The god stands on a dog. There is some inscription on the oval-shaped nimbus. It goes to 9th and 10th century AD. In the Assam State Museum at Guwahati, the god stands in Abhanga pose upon a prostrate body. The god is two-handed. In the right hand is Danda, Matulunga. Bhairava is one of the most frequently sculptured Shiva forms at Vijayanagar, as he was the favorite deity of the Kapalikas and the Kalamukhas. The Kalamukhas had a large following in the Deccan in the Vijayanagar and early Vijayanagar periods. Bhairava is nude. He wears a garland of skulls and earrings of snakes. A serpent is shown wound around his head. His disheveled hair form a large jatabhara. In the Vijayanagar sculpture, the usual attributes held by Bhairava are the Trishula, the Damru in the two upper hands, and a Khatvanga and the Kapala in the lower hands. At times, a spear head is attached to the hand holding the Kapala. He often wears high sandals. Bhairava is usually accompanied by the dog. He is also flanked by a snake. A scorpion is sometimes carved either below or besides the Bhairava image. In the archaeological museum, there is a Bhairava image in which he is in Sambhanga with the dog behind him. One of the best Bhairava reliefs on the north ridge in a small rock shelter is notable. He stands in the Bhanga within a Makra Turna. To his left is a dog that licks the blood dripping from the severed head. On either side is a large scorpion and a seven-hooded serpent. Two armed standing Bhairava in reliefs are two in number. One is in a small shrine within the royal center, built against a rock on which there is a relief of Bhairava in Pratiladya with outstretched arms. In the right hand, he carries a Trishula and in the left a Kapala. The other example in archaeological museum is of two armed Bhairava in a Makra Torana. Seated Bhairavas are four-armed and the Ayuddhas held in their hands are the common ones. The best example is on a boulder near Malyavanta hill. Bhairava is seated cross-legged within an arch. His expression is fierce and has mustaches. He wears Yajnopavita of skulls. Udhara, Badhara, bracelets, round earrings, a scorpion is depicted below him. Bhairava with consort Bhairavi, who has the same attributes of her husband. In the royal center is a relief of the god and goddess, both seated cross-legged. Bhairava had a third eye and a mustache, and his appearance is fierce. Bhairava is depicted with snakes. Bhairavi is also bejeweled. She wears a mukta and holds the same weapons as Bhairava. She is draped in a sari from the waist downwards. To the right of Bhairavi is a female attendant having a scarf. In addition to these images, there are a number of pillar reliefs, mainly in Shiva temples. The one Vaishnava monument of importance having some fine Bhairava reliefs is the Ramachandra temple, where he is represented 7 times. The finest of these is a carving on an engaged pillar is the East Gateway. Karnataka too has numerous images of Bhairava. The most notable figures are from the Hoysala period. One image of Bhairava is in the collection of Michigan Museum of Arts and Archaeology. Here the god stands between 2 columns in a shrine-like niche. He is heavily adorned with ornaments with a sash that falls to both sides and a cobra draped over her body. He has 4 arms in which he carries a trident, a damru. One more image from Karnataka of 10th and 13th century. Galeshwara temple at Galganatha in Haveri district is fascinating. Here, the curly-haired young seated four-armed nude Bhairava is mutilated. He has raised eyebrows, rolling eyes, tusks, skull garland, beaded necklace, snake armlets are all executed boldly. The gentle smile is fearsome, with curly, matted hair disheveled. A surviving hand holds a skull bowl. Nearby is the figure of Bhairavi. Her face has a terrific smile with prominent tusks, rolling eyes, bow-like eyebrows. Bhairava is a manifestation of Shiva and worshipped by Kapalikas as their chief god. They believe that all the gods are subservient to him. Special forms of Shiva have been discovered in different parts of northeastern India from time to time. The Deccan Museum possesses a large number of them. Such is the image of Virupaksha recovered from Rampal. The god stands in the position of an archer with 8 hands holding a sword, a noose or damru, and a trident in the left hands, a shield, a bow, a skull cup, and a bell in the right hands. He stands on the head of 2 prostrate human figures. Bhairava is another form of Shiva, but at times he is regarded as emanation or an attendant of Shiva. A fine image of Bhairava is in the collection of P.C. Nahar of Azimganj. It was excavated in the Dinajpur district. The god stands in the Pratilda posture with 4 hands on a sphered human head. The Rajshahi Museum possesses numerous badly preserved specimens. An image from VRS Museum, Rajshahi as a 3-faced and 10-armed dating back to the 12th century AD. The central face is placid and the side ones is fierce looking. The flames from its head and shoulders are peculiar. A miniature burnt clay image of Vatuka Bhairava, which has been excavated from the Raghurampura, now in Dhaka Museum, has a flappy belly and a long garland of skulls. Flames are coming out of his head, his lips are parted in a horrible smile. He has 4 hands with usual attributes. The figure is not naked images and neither wears sandals like the Bhairava of Indian Museum. The sculptural representations of Bhairava, which display the terrific aspect of Shiva without illustrating any particular mythology, are not many in North India. Banerjee remarks, if we compare the graceful creation of the Orissan artist with many armed Bhairava in the Ashutosh Museum of the late medieval period, hailing from North Bengal, we cannot but realize the great and ideological difference in representing the same theme by 2 different artists of East India. All his features help to create an atmosphere of unmitigated terror. His staring eyes, open mouth, fangs, mustaches, snakes, a garland of skulls, a shula, a khatvanga, a pasha, a kapala, a kettle drum, a trident, bulging eyes, incised lids, etc., are the characteristics which create terrific atmosphere. Bhairava images from Orissa with 2, 4, 8, 10 and 16 arms represent that the artists in a very skillful way wanted emphasize the innate specific character. Such images represent his sattvic character. There are numerous loose sculptures in the Bhojpur district of Bihar belonging to the post-Gupta period. They are mostly shown standing on the back of a crouching human figure. Most of them are Hithyphalus and puts on a number of ornaments. Such images are not terrific, rather they are in Sharinary pose on the face. Bhairavas from Kosambi are well adorned with costumes and ornaments and are having halo behind. Artist from Assam was fond of Bala Bhairava in dancing pose. Most of them are rock cut. Bhairavas from Khajuraho are in high relief. Four-armed Batuk Bhairava has been discovered from Varanasi. These are made of sandstone slabs. Such images have their own characters. Bhairava can be explained as one of those Ugra forms of Shiva, which have the capacity to protect the universe. His three different forms, Batuka, Swarnikasana and 64, are known in the visuals too. When he is Batuka, he rides a dog and is nude in red color. His different types of images depict his Sattvika, Rajasika and Tamasika rupas. In his Sattvika forms, the artist carved him with a joyful face and pleasant expressions. In his images of the Rajasika, he has smiling face and wrapped in an elephant skin. Most of the images of the Rajasika rupa shines like the sun and wears a blood red garment. The Tamasika image is like a blue mountain with his usual attributes. Batuka Bhairava is deeply inscribed on the mind of the artist. Flames are shown issuing out of his head and the rolling eyes are adorned with a horrible smile. In a few words, we can say that sculptures representing Bhairavas are frequently found in the various regions of the country, and most of them belong to the medieval period. An image in the State Museum, the deity is seated in Yutakuti Asana on a pedestal with his feet wearing patukas. Such images are very few. Sometimes the sculptures indeed invite variations with the instructions of the canons. Sculptor adds his own imagination to enhance the character of the deity. The basic iconographic features of the deity help the creator in achieving his goal. Thank you very much.